Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming back at you with IL-2 patch notes. This patch just came out, and I'm downloading it currently right now. And I figured I'd like to share this with you guys. If you're interested in IL-2 and the news about IL-2 and some changes, there's a bunch of cool things that just happened. It's been over a month since the last patch, so they've been working on a lot of stuff. And let me go ahead and kind of proofread this for you a little bit, like just read a little bit of it. It says around a month has passed between their last update. They got more than 80 items they're adding, specifically the Yak-9, right? The Yak-9, Yak-9T. And it was used in the Battle of Kuban, so it's available in the career mode and multiplayer, so that's pretty cool. And I think this here is the Yak-9. And the cockpit look right there, that's pretty cool. It looks like it's a collector's plane, so that means it doesn't come with your base game. You have to actually pay a little extra for it. All right, so now, other than the Yak-9, the tank crews, right? So they get the Beast Slayer. It's the Su-152. That's a 152 howitzer. It's like launches Volkswagens, and they were designed to knock out heavy defenses, right? Like Tigers and Ferdinands. Okay, right. So that's in the game, and that's what it looks like right there. And that's, I guess, the internal positions if you're a tank player. Now, there's also an update: new scripted campaigns, Kaiser Slot and Spring Offensive, and lightning strikes. Okay, now these were, I believe, fan-made by the Syndicate originally, and I downloaded them and started them. I haven't finished them, but I'm kind of glad I haven't finished them because now they're official and they're added into the Flying Circus, World War I gameplay. And they're the first official campaigns for Flying Circus. So now you can, but not just the 6 missions that they each had, but apparently now they're adding more missions, and they're gonna. And wait, here we go. These campaigns have been enlarged to include new unreleased missions. So that's pretty cool. I think I might have to record one of them suckers tonight. Okay. And then if you're a P-38 owner, which I'm not, but it's something I'm considering, it's a collector plane. If you have that and the Battle of Bodenplata, you also have a new scripted campaign called Lightning Strikes. It was developed by Jägermeister. And it goes on combat missions in October to the end of December. That's pretty cool. And 25 missions. That's quite a bit for a campaign. That's exciting because that gives you a lot of content. Right. So that's really cool. Uh-oh. They left the 3 out right there. Typo. Okay. There's also an accompanying skin pack for that campaign, and you just go to the forum and download that skin pack. If you're not familiar with skin packs, they're basically just files that you can upload directly into your game, and then you can select them for your airplanes. Okay, now here's where they kind of deviate a little bit. It says, while new aircraft, tanks, and campaigns are the lead stars, and the most important change of the update is the release of the new graphics rendering engine based on differed shading. It's a new powerful shoot forward in the visual part of the project. Okay, I thought the game was pretty damn sexy looking already, but look at the water. That might be why this patch took a while to download. It's impossible to unlock all the potential at once, but in this update, we already added a number of improvements: more natural-looking aircraft exteriors, cockpits, and instrument reflections. better looking water surfaces, just a start. Okay, nice. And that's, look at that plane right there. I don't really see much difference on that plane, but the water looks good. Yeah, trees look good too. I've always thought this game was a very sexy looking game. I think the graphic artists did a really good job. Okay, thanks to Martin, ICDP Catney, we have an external textures of 4 more existing aircraft in 4K quality. The 111, 6 and the 16, and the LA5 and LA5, 8 and 2, right? So that's all these 4 right there. In 4K. Well, I don't play in 4K. I play in 1440. Okay, let's see what else we got here. These huge additions aren't all. The update brings many others that are important. FM and DM were updated based on our feedback. Flight model and damage model. Okay. Soviet fighter pilots have new visual model. A lot of changes in ground and naval units, as well as player controllable tank crew war machines. Multiplayer functionality has been addressed, and improvements over quality and gameplay. Okay, so now they give us a list of all the stuff. Let's talk about the main features. Well, the Yak-9 is available. The SU-152, the LA-5s have been up to 4K. HE-111s are in 4K. 2 scenario campaigns, Kaiserslaut and Spring, are available in Flying Circus, and they're free. And then a huge 25 mission scenario, Lightning Strike, is available for Bodenplatte if you have the P-38. Which now this right here, this number 9, is encouraging me. It's incentivizing me to go out and get the P-38. And the graphics engine of the sim now uses deferred shading technology. Okay. Kind of like rendering. Graphic improvements, the anti-aliasing can be selected. Okay. Cockpit reflections. Yeah, we've heard about that in the last patch, how certain planes are now their instruments are going to reflect onto the canopy, which I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. I guess we'll find out. Metallic and lacquered aircraft surfaces reflect the light softer and more naturally. That's good. No glares. There are canopy and instrument reflections. Okay, we got that. Aircraft visual image won't suddenly darken when zooming out. Okay. Damaged textures won't light up too much when zooming in. Rivers and lake water visual is improved. Cloud reflections in water bodies improved. Okay, that's kind of cool. Excessive brightness of the high detail buildings on the Prokhorova map has been reduced. Shell casings won't become transparent when too close. Okay, so like clip them and see inside, I guess. Crew models. There's a new pilot model for all Soviet fighters and the A-20. Okay. New pilot model has 3 uniform variations depending on the mission date. Okay. New pilot model has a sidearm. Pilots of the other aircraft will receive their models when their models are updated. Okay. Battle of Bodenplatte aircraft, which have been also lend-leased to USSR, like the Spitfire, the B-25, the P-47, can have Soviet crews in their country in a mission file set in the USSR. Okay, so I guess the Americans or the British don't just go to Russia. The Russians actually fly their own planes, which you would expect. Okay, I think these are scenarios. I'm not, I would think this is Bodenplatte. This might be Battle of Kuban and Battle of Moscow, maybe? Okay, P-40, Spitfire 5B, Spitfire 9E, 51D have American pilots in their country in a mission set in the USA. of American pilots if their country in a mission file is said to the USA. Great. You know, like in Bodenplatte, I liked playing the Spitfire and I pretended that I was an American. Well, now I can actually have an American pilot. Nice. And I can have a P-51 as a British pilot. That's also cool. Okay, let's look at player controllable tanks. Quick missions, duels, and skirmish. They have their transmission forward and backward or left gear. Okay, the commanders of the indirect fire capable self-propelled guns can order AI gunner of their tank or tank platoon to fire at a distance and a direction. Okay, I'm not too familiar with tank games. I've only played like 2. Okay, the T-34 got 2 new modifications, all steel internal sprung wheels. HE shell ballistics corrected for the Su-122. Okay, this is weird. Death of a radio man correctly affects the radio functionality. That's cool. I mean, does that mean you just won't be able to like call to your other crew members and stuff like that? When a turret ventilation system is off, you can see from the outside the smoke coming off the crew hatch. That's kind of sexy. The smoke can be seen escaping the engine compartment of the Sherman and the KV-1. Wait, after a shot. Okay, I'm not sure. All Soviet tanks have animated oil pumping in the engine start procedure. Okay. The T-34 Su-122 have correctly looking headlights. Okay. The Panzer III and the T-34-76 tanks have correctly damageable suspension. All 45 millimeter and bigger shells don't have tracers anymore. The 45 and bigger shells without tracers have generic visual model. Okay. Let's move on to aircraft physics. This one and the damage model are the ones I'm mostly interested in. Let's take a look here. The maximum airspeed at which the pilot is able to bail out now depends on the vertical G-load. The smaller positive G-load or the greater negative G-load, the easier it is for the pilot to leave. Yeah, if you got a negative G, you could just open the canopy and launch yourself out the top. But if you got positive Gs, it's like hard to climb out because the gravity's pulling you back into the seat. The G, that is. A G-load indicator is on your HUD. Okay. A message about turret ammo replenishing the turret repair has been added. Okay. To the techno chat. A message about servicing the engine oil system or cooling system in the repair area is added to the techno chat. The service is performed if the engine oil or coolant have cooled down significantly during the aircraft stop. Because, I don't know if you knew this, but you can land and rearm and then take back off. You can land and repair and take back off. Okay, the SPAD-13, World War I, the roll oscillation of the AI-controlled airplanes at speeds of about 200 kilometers has been fixed. The Ac-7 polar curve has been corrected. The inductive drag at large angles of attack was increased. The turn rate was reduced. The maximum speed and climb rate remain the same. Okay. The engine heat balance has been adjusted, so it won't heat as often. Aileron's hinge movement and aileron's effectiveness at high speed were corrected. The roll rate is increased, making the act better. The Bf-110, the aircraft polar curve was corrected. Maximum speed and climb rate are corrected. Bf-110 aerodynamic characteristics corrected at supercritical angles of attack. The effectiveness of slats was improved. The drag was increased, and the nature of the stall was adjusted. You need to fix the P-47. The P-38 landing gear doors are visible. Okay, that's good. Or visibly opened in the hangar. Okay. Bf-109 G-14 emergency engine power has been fixed, increased. An aircraft won't appear underground when a session is set incorrectly or undefined in the mission file. The Sopwith Camel, when the option Simplified Controls is enabled in the difficulty settings, the automatic helper better stabilizes the plane along the roll axis at a high angle of attack. Okay. And then the Spitfire 9 excess struts on the pylons were removed. Excess struts on the pylons were removed. Okay, pylons would be things that carry like bombs and stuff. So there were struts on the bombs. Okay, bomb struts. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, aircraft damage model. The piston engine's combat survivability has been adjusted. The protection from the engine casing has been reduced. Bullets and shells cause more damage to the crank gear, while shell fragments cause less damage. All flying circus airplanes hitting at the central section of the top wing now also leads to breaking the top wing. Okay, the geometry of wing spars of all flying circus airplanes has been checked and brought into strict compliance with known sources. In general, now it requires much more bullet hits to break the wings. Okay, so there's not going to be a whole lot of wing cracking. The absence of visual and hearing disorders under high G loads for gunners in the single-player mode was fixed. A rare bug has been fixed, which caused the fragments not damaging the airframe sometimes. Okay, so like rubber bullets. The PE2 fixed rudders wobbling when the control wires are broken. Wow, you can cut control wires? Damn. I'm liking IL-2 even more. The PE2, a bug was fixed that caused the left rudder to react to the control slightly when its control wires were actually broken. Okay, so that's fixed. All 109 fighters except the E7 can now lose the left or right side of the horizontal stabilizer when hit at its central part. Has a central part of the stabilizer which can be lost. Okay. P-38 fixed a bug due to which the oxygen system would erroneously take damage. The Ju-52 fixed rudder wobbling when its control wires were broken. And fixed a problem with repairing aircraft turrets and fixed the undamageable machine guns in a number of aircraft turrets. Okay. Now, I don't do a whole lot with naval units, but I do shoot at ground targets. Okay. Ships of more advanced physical model. They can be damaged by collisions, run aground, lay on the shore. Okay, that's good. All naval guns and howitzers fire physically modeled projectiles. Nice. Previously, explosions were created at the target area. So this previously, it was hand wavium. They would just explode at the target. But now, naval guns and howitzers fire a physically modeled projectile, right? And then when it hits it, making their combat use much more realistic. Okay. All naval guns and howitzers have AP ammo available, 10%. AAA guns can fire at the ground area if the mission trigger attack area is set on the ground level. Okay, interesting. The issue that made the first several salvos of an artillery battery too accurate has been found and fixed. Yeah, because you got to bracket it and then gradually shrink your area that you're hitting and then call fire for effect. So I get that. Should take a second before it all gets there. The issue with AI aiming the guns of player controllable tanks has been fixed. That's good. Hopefully that means, okay, I was driving a tank and my AI gunner was just sitting there not doing anything. So maybe it was because I had that issue. Okay, the Panzer IV and Panzer IV-G have their armor plates thickness corrected. Doesn't say it's going up or down. Because they don't want to tell you that they're going down. Okay, groups and columns of AI-controlled ground vehicles can stop on shallow slopes. Previously, they couldn't. Tank AI gunners no longer try to fire at flying targets. That's good. Ground vehicle AIs can't spot targets through a dense enough forest if at least 50 meters. Okay. Field guns, like anti-tank guns, and divisional ones, field guns, maybe short infantry guns or something, can fire at maximum distance when given the attack area ground command in the mission. Aiming tables for several AA guns have been corrected. Maybe they're more accurate? We're going to find out. Okay. Aircraft AI. There's 87, so we're almost there. The firing accuracy of air and ground targets depends on the AI pilot level. Okay. View sectors have been corrected for the 129, the 52, the 20, and the U2. Okay. The minimal fuel reserve calculation has been corrected. Previously, they could cause AI pilots to RTB too early. Okay. Multiplayer. The audibility of hits on your own plane has been corrected when the cockpit canopy is damaged. Okay. New server-side option, restrict tank AI gunners, blocks the ability of the tank commander to assign a dynamic object as a target. Okay. So they can't search for targets on their own. Okay. They weren't. Now I'm sure that's fixed. Tech chat and handling tips are now governed by difficulty settings that can be enforced on a multiplayer server. Okay, so if you're setting up a multiplayer server, you can restrict certain things. Okay. General fixes. The recently introduced error in the armor penetration modeling has been corrected. It made the projectile speed armor penetration function graduated and could cause an armor penetration in a case when it shouldn't occur. Okay, so that's been fixed. Concussions won't cause the loss of hearing for too long. UK and US careers, Bodenplatte, will work correctly with the simplified Chinese language selected. So if you put the simplified Chinese language on there, you should still be able to play them correctly. I don't worry about that. I'm speaking English, and so that's the language that I put on there. A rare error in scripted campaigns that cause the progress to be lost after re-entering a game has been found and fixed. Okay, that's good. That's never hit me, so I feel like I'm lucky about that, but they fixed it, so now I don't ever have to worry about it. Okay, so a lot of these errors come from players like you and me reporting in the forums and going directly, sending messages to the developers. If you, what I'm trying to say is, if you find an error and it's causing your game to act weird, let them know so they can take a look into it to see if it's supposed to be that way or if it's something they need to fix. Okay, so I'm super excited about this patch. It looks like it's finished downloading. So now all I get to do is play. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll catch you next time.